live. I'm not going to be long. And also, if the live shuts off, I'm just going to go to StreamYard and try it that way because it's been tripping lately. So, what I want to talk about is three narcissistic traits you probably mistake for something else. Three narcissistic traits you missed, or you might want to say three red flags you missed. And yes, I can name many more, but I'm just going to narrow it down to three for now. So the first one is when you mistake entitlement for flattery. And this is when a narcissist cross boundaries. This is when they do things that are just downright out of line and disrespectful. To give you an example of that, it's when a narcissist may approach you when you're alone and in public and give you a kiss on the cheek, or they may join you when you're at a table for one, you're having lunch alone and you're all right with that. You may be strolling through your phone and then there pops a person that just comes to sit down with you. If not a stranger, even if there's a narcissist that you are familiar with, it's still something that they just should not do because it's just crossing boundaries. It's crossing boundaries even if you haven't set boundaries with them yet. What the narcissists have to learn is that there's a time and a place for things, and the rules also apply to them. Of course, they're not trying to hear that, but it's true, whether they like it or not. And narcissists are known to do things through their sense of entitlement. They feel like they could do as they please, and that's why they act out that way. God forbid somebody check them about it, and then they're going to try to insult you or claim that you think that you're high and mighty, like if you don't have the right to set rules to yourself. So that's something that you could think about when it comes to some red flags with a narcissist, and how you probably missed a few things when it comes to narc traits and their behavior. Number two is you may have mistaken like their jealousy for constructive criticism. Trust and believe the narcissists, they are very jealous. They're jealous of pretty much anyone who have more than them. And it doesn't always have to be a materialistic thing. It can be attention. We know that narcissists are the biggest attention seekers. And so when they see that a person is receiving more attention, more love than them, then they feel some type of way. And they're going to try to step in and take over that spotlight out of jealousy. And it may be taking as constructive criticism because what they want you to think is, oh, I was trying to tell you that you could do this and that better. When the whole while, the reason why they really had their eye on you and they're trying to get close to you is because they like the way you do things, because they know that it will draw attention to you. So they're really taking notes from you. They've studied you enough to copy you, but they don't want you to do it because you'll gain too much attention and it takes it away from them. So a narcissist could never give anyone constructive criticism. That's not constructive criticism they're giving you. They're just showing you how jealous and hateful they are of you. They're the biggest haters. Now, the third red flag or narc trait that you probably missed is when a narcissist claims that if you're in a relationship, that automatically makes everything theirs. What's mine is yours, and what yours is mine. But the narcissists, they don't go by that rule. They go by what's mine is mine's and what yours is mine's. Because the narcissists, they move in a lot of times really quick with a person. And everything they see that you've accomplished, they like to claim it as their own. And so, let's say, for example, a person is pointing out something that you have done. They're admiring something that you created or whatever. If the narcissist is there, they have to join in on a conversation by claiming we. They always want you to think that if we're in a relationship, this automatically makes everything under this roof for us. It belongs to the both of us. And that's not true. For a long time, I remember when I had first got in a relationship with a narc, I was so used to being alone and everything that I had accomplished. I mean, I can't deny it for myself, but the narcissists, they look for you to change the way you speak of things when it comes to your accomplishments. Now they expect you to say us instead of my. And they're going to always point that out because now you're getting too much attention. You're standing out too much in the spotlight, and I got to take some of that away from you. So trust and believe. They're never going to give you your props. They're never going to be genuinely happy for anyone, especially behind closed doors. Now, they may give you a little leeway of that in public, but trust and believe it leaves a nasty taste in their mouth, and they can't wait to get you behind closed doors to pretty much give it to you and remind you that what you did was just a bad look for me because it made me feel like. Notice that they're gonna go to how things make them feel. They're very emotional, and it's like all for nothing. They're gonna let you know that it made them feel left out. It's gonna make me, that you made them feel like they were alone, or you was trying to shine on them and stuff like that. When the whole wow, that's who the narcissist is. They're describing who they are when they're telling you how you made them feel. And it's crazy because they always contradict themselves, and they're the biggest hypocrites when it comes to pointing out something, that doesn't quite sit well with them. They love to say what you're doing that's out of line, but when it comes to them, oh, it's okay. God forbid you point it out. And now you're overreacting, you tripping, you're always complaining. What are you whining about now? Or they'll just kind of blow you off by saying, I don't want to argue, you know. And that takes me into another thing that wasn't even supposed to be a part of this. Narcissists love to throw in your face that you are arguing, or I don't want to argue. You're being argumentative because you're pretty much answering to something that you have every right to speak up about. I mean, a lot of times it is best to ignore the narcissist. Don't give them an argument because that gives them supply. That keeps you strung along to their little game. But sometimes you have to answer to certain things. And the moment that you do, it's like they're gonna start like pulling for more. That's when you gotta know when to stop. And it's crazy that you gotta play these type of games with them, but you do. um when it comes to that, don't let them make you think that that don't start. Once you start to question yourself is when you know that they're getting to you and you don't want them to get to you. Get it off your chest, say what's on your mind, and then let it go. And long as you know they heard it, they could say whatever they want to say. Don't let that get a response out of you, because now you're going to just have this back and forth, and they're not going to look at it as an argument. And it is okay to argue sometime, to argue your point, but they're not going to give you the credit of doing that. What they're going to say is that you're just complaining, or all you like to do is fight. All you want to do is argue, or you think you're always right. And they know you could be right, but they're never going to give you the credit. So just know that narcissists will throw that in your face at times when it comes to you correcting them about something or setting them straight, putting them in their place. They're going to tell you that all you want to do is argue. You know, they're not critical thinkers. They have zero, you know, conflict resolution skills. So, of course, they're going to kind of look at everything as uh argumentative, you know. And even when they know that they're wrong and you're correcting them, they're still gonna use that just to get a reaction out of you. They want to make you angry. And even when you're correcting them and you're not angry, you know, they really gonna keep picking with you at it. So again, just kind of get it off your chest and move on. Don't give them an argument because they already know what they're doing. They like to mess with your head and make you think that you're always wrong. Hi linebacker. I'm doing a live, and whoever don't watch it now, they'll catch it later. So it's okay. I mean, you're on here, so that's how it goes. And if you don't get it, then well, I'm sorry. I explained myself the best way I can. You just probably came in late. But like I say, this was a quick live, not gonna be long at all. Um, I didn't feel like getting behind the camera to do a video or anything like that. And I'm gonna go ahead on and end it here. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.